Hi, this is Caitlin,
This is Gabby.
and welcome back to AvengeGirls and Friends. Today, we are looking at one of my favorite movies, I think, of the franchise, which is Tokyo Drift. Is it called? It is Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift, right, Gabs?
Yeah, I believe
Full
so.
title. Okay. I never call it that because in my mind it's like something so separate. There's like no Vin, no Paul. But also I think it's so important to like the future of the franchise. So I'm very excited to talk about it today.
Fine, but I'm also making a face.
It is weird without them in there, right?
Yes. I mean,
How did
obviously,
you handle, meeting Sean and
I was like,
everything?
I really hate saying this because I'm sure like everyone involved like is a good person and like put effort into it, but I did not care like
Really? The
at
entire movie?
all. No,
Oh my goodness,
I
this
didn't
is
care
good
about
though.
it.
We've got some
I feel
contention
bad.
here.
Like I would have loved to love it. Sorry guys, I have like a cough drop so you don't hear me hacking to death. Um but yeah, like the very first thing that happens is, the kid, Sean, I think his
Mhm.
name is,
Yeah.
and this other dude like racing over the other guy's girlfriend, and I'm like, okay, but like a race like this only works as the opening if I actually like give a shit about the stakes, and I very much
Yeah.
do not. And
Yeah.
then it just like didn't get any better.
That's like fair. The entire movie is like all the stakes literally center around like winning women. Um in a
Bad.
way.
You're right.
So,
They do, because I
yeah.
wasn't even thinking about that, but you're right. Like that's absolutely what happens with
Yeah.
the oh my God, what is her name?
Neela?
Neela?
Neely? It's Neel something.
Okay, yeah, I wasn't even thinking about that, but yeah, you're
Yeah.
absolutely right.
Like that's what it comes down to. And honestly, like hearing you say that makes me like kind of re-examine my own love for it, and I'm really wondering how much of it is literally just nostalgia at this point, and also love for Han, the character. Um, I love Han, and he's important later on.
He is no, he does seem really cool. He might be one of the parts I like just because
Yes,
anyone who has the audacity to like steal from gangsters is probably pretty cool in my book.
he's
Um,
awesome.
but like, and I like Twinkie, I guess.
Yes, Bow
He's
Wow, he is so
he's
pretty.
cool too.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it. That's all I
I
got.
wish they focused more on them, to be honest, because, or at least like, I don't know, gave Sean more like sympathy throughout the movie. Like he doesn't ever do anything that makes me go like, oh, he's learned his lesson because and he's a better person now. He's not really shown to be a good person throughout this, you
Yeah,
know?
and I mean, like, I don't even care so much about that. Like, as long as the character's compelling, like, that's
Yeah,
totally fine. I don't care if they're a good person or not
but
necessarily.
he's
But,
just not
like, he's
like,
not doing anything interesting.
yeah, that's fair. I feel like we could also look at this as besides the like, this is just about winning women. Um, it's like selling like Japan as this like weird, unique, quote unquote, exotic cultural entity.
Yeah.
And it's like, ooh, I mean, you could see it with like the very specific like music choices they use, the outfits they choose to have the girls dress up in.
Hmm.
And then for some reason though, still focusing on like American kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're in Japan, but you have this like Southern boy. And then again, I love Bow Wow and Twinkie, but he's American as well. And then the love interest is not even a Japanese girl. She's Australian Japanese, but she
I
just
think so,
looks
yeah.
Australian. I don't know. It's weird.
And I just really quick, I want to make like a point about the dad being in the military and everything. I thought,
Mm.
and I could be totally incorrect here because I don't know that much about like how overseas military bases work, but I thought they had schools for kids on base or like off base or
Yeah.
whatever. So like they put him straight into an all Japanese
Yeah.
school when he doesn't speak Japanese?
I never understand that. And like he never learns
No.
Japanese throughout it. You know
Or
what I
he
mean?
like suddenly knows it at the end.
And like just enough to get by. He doesn't even there's a point where like this poor woman is like, "Ohio." And then he just kind of like looks at her and keeps walking. I was like, "This is a poor old lady and you're not even going to say hello back to her? Like it's one word and you don't know how to say it."
Yeah.
Sean is a bit frustrating.
Yeah, so I was just really confused about that because like I thought there were schools for military
I
kids
think
on
you're
bases
yeah.
and stuff, but who's to say? I really don't know.
I think you're right, but I also don't know enough to speak on that. So
Anyway, I feel like I'm being aggressively mean to Sean because I'm bitter that he's not Vin or Paul.
he kind of looks like Paul if Paul was like younger and southern and had a longer face.
Maybe.
But all white boys kind of look alike, so maybe it's just that. I don't know.
So I feel like I'm being a little bit unfair, but like also, am I?
It is frustrating. I mean, I'm glad you said that though and presented it in that way because now I'm like all of my notes were like, I love this movie, Han. Oh my God, this car. Oh my God, da, da, da. And now I'm thinking like, okay, a lot of it is literally just focused on things I loved when I was, when did it come out?
Yeah.
2006. I mean, obviously things have changed
Yeah.
since then.
And no, and that's totally fair, and you should still like love the things you love about it. I do not come at this one from the nostalgia angle at all. And also
Yeah,
I
nor
come
should
at
you.
it from the fact that I've been presented this as like a franchise, and so
Yes, yeah.
far they have all been very disconnected from each other.
Yes.
And I'm like, I know it's gonna get better,
It does.
but for the love
Please
of
believe
God,
me.
for the love of God, none of them feel like they go together. Because if it weren't for the fact that like Dom shows up in a cameo at the
Yeah.
end of this, like this could be from another franchise entirely.
Yeah. Okay. So this is actually not some of this is gonna be opinion, not necessarily fact. But like a quick history of what I know of this franchise. So as you pointed out, 1, 2, and 3 are all kind of very, very loosely interlinked. 1 and 2 more so because we have Paul Walker linking them. He's the main character in both. But this one is almost like a spin-off, calling it Fast and Furious, Tokyo Drift. Like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, we're pushing it somewhere else, but it's still, if you like the first 2 movies, you should watch this.
Yeah.
And this was directed by Justin Lin.
Mm-hmm.
The other 2 were not. Justin Lin is the one who's done all the other ones. I think maybe except for 6, maybe, or 4. But he's basically the reason why the franchise exists as it does and
Okay.
why it's as good as it is, because whatever he did here worked because audiences loved it and they gave him more money, they let him run with it, and now we have like the fam and everyone's together in the next like, however many movies there are. 9 is the
Okay.
latest
Well,
one.
I mean, I will say it's probably because it does feel different from the other ones. Like the other
Yeah.
ones could have been like any, like action movie technically,
Yes,
but
yeah.
like this is different setting, different kind of
Yeah.
plot elements and
Yes.
everything
Yeah.
that probably weren't necessarily being seen a lot that year, except for in Cars.
2006's yeah. Hit Cars.
Which we were talking about this,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Are you sure Cars didn't come out before 2006?" And no, I've just lost my mind entirely.
What is time
But
really,
but when I was watching this, I was watching them drift, and I was like, "Is that not what Lightning McQueen did?" Hold on.
Yeah.
Because obviously I've seen that so many more times than I've seen this, and this is
Yeah.
one. That's like, how many times can you watch it on the way to Texas?
Too many.
A lot of times. Because you had mentioned
Yeah.
in your last episode about how like no one knew what drifting was
Yeah.
until this came out, and I was like, how could you not know? I mean, Lightning McQueen.
And it's so funny because, okay, I have like a weird story to back this up, but I had forgotten completely that drifting was in Cars. And then literally just the other day, the day before I watched this movie, I was reading a fanfic for the volleyball anime that was a human Cars AU. Don't read into it too much. Gabri's like, the look she's giving me. It was good. Anyways, and it's kind of like beat for beat following the movie with different changes. And there's a whole, like drifting subplot. And I was like, wait a minute.
Hold on.
Hold on. Drifting? Because I knew that Cars had to have been released sometime in the mid 2000s. I wasn't sure when. Like you said, like it could have been earlier, like 2004. So then I was like, okay, I have to look up both dates. Like when was this released and when was Tokyo Drift released? And sure enough, same year, 2006, the year of the drift, man. So I don't know.
And you were like, Han taught us all what drifting is. I'm like, that's Doc Hudson erasure, first of all.
Okay, Han, Hudson. There's a similarity there, wouldn't you say?
You're right. You are absolutely right, and
I think agree. This is something we gotta discuss here.
I think we do.
I think that Cars 2006 and Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift 2006 are twin films that originated from the same script pitch and contain similar story beats and character arcs. And it's there, like Han and Hudson, like they're the same like character, right? They teach the selfish, self-centered, in different ways, protagonist, Sean McQueen, how to, in Cars, I think they achieve it better. Like he becomes a good person. I'm not convinced that Sean becomes a good person and learns in Tokyo Drift, but that's another argument entirely. You have the like sexy, again, quote unquote, I hate using this word, but that's how they're selling it, the like exotic girl who's not from around there, but she's here now and she's sticking around for one reason or another. I forget what her name is, Neela, right? Neely from Tokyo Drift. We don't even know her name, which
We're terrible.
Well, we're not terrible. I think the movie is terrible. I can't remember when they said her name. And then what's the girl's name in Cars? Because I haven't watched Cars in a while. Sally. Yeah. I bet they like, if we put two pictures of them up side by side, even though Sally is a car, I bet they'd look alike.
Did you hear yourself say that?
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
I mean, they like anthropomorphize the cars, right? Like,
yeah, no, they do.
I wish you guys could have seen the look on Gabri's face. I'd never seen that look on her face before. My 8 years of knowing you.
Oh, it's already been a day, and then you just throw out the Cars human AU volleyball anime, and then if you compared her to the car, they would look alike. That is the straw that broke the camel's back.
I'm like crying. This is what we need though to like de-stress from like
it's true.
COVID and day-to-day life shenanigans. So this is good. It's fine. Anyways, I think it's there. If Justin Lin or John Lasseter want to reach out to me and confirm this, please let me know.
We should reach out to them for comment.
Yeah.
Before we go public with this knowledge. Yes. I only have like just everyone always owes everyone a car in this universe. Is that just like a thing that continues to happen? Because like first Paul owes Vin a 10-second car, and then Sean wrecks Han's car, and he's like, "You owe me a car." I'm like, for God's sake.
And that's like so funny to me because, well, never. I guess I'll save this till Fast 4 and Fast 5 because like I said, this is like actually a sequel sort of to those two movies. And so what we know about like Han from those movies makes what his like actions in this movie so funny to me. But I will leave that on a cliffhanger for you guys and Gabri because I don't want to spoil it for Gabs.
Okay. The order of these movies is so confusing to me.
Yeah, that's very fair. My sister always gets confused too. She was like, "Wait a minute." What's going on? Because Han and he like is with everyone else, as we know, like because Dom is like friends with him. Han was fan.
Right.
And then it's so literally the order chronologically these movies is 1, 2, 4, 5, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9.
So much just happened.
Yeah.
I like blacked out while you were saying that. 1, 2, 4, 5,
Three.
3, 6, 7,
Yeah.
8, 9. Oh my god.
This
Okay.
literally opens with something that happens in 3.
Okay.
Yeah. It's great. I can't wait to reach that portion because I think that's when I got invested really fully into the franchise. I think
Okay.
5 is the best movie, but 6 is when I was like, you know?
Okay.
So, it'll be good.
I like that you have a spoiler here for me
I know.
in my note, in your notes.
Don't read it.
Too late. I'm looking at it right now. I mean, like, I knew he like died because I saw the trailer for F9. Like, I knew he didn't die.
Yeah. Because then he like is back, and that, oh my gosh, that trailer, I could go on and on about that trailer. But yeah, do you want me to like talk about that portion then? That my little note there, because it's okay. So in my notes I was laughing at how so the part where Han dies in this movie, quote unquote dies, as we now know. They're like racing through the streets of Tokyo to try to get away from the Yakuza members, and blah blah blah, bang bang, and ramming your cars. And then suddenly out of nowhere, this like dinky ass like normal like gray white silver car, like this is like a bad car, like not a car that anyone who is interested in cars would ever be driving, like rams into Han, and like the car goes whoosh whoosh whoosh, and Han crashes, doesn't look good, and then he explodes from the gasoline leaking. And as we learn later that Shaw was driving that dinky car, or it's implied, I think. And so, because he's the one who like has killed Han, and that's so funny to me that like he goes to Japan with the sole purpose of killing him, and just so happens like his timing is that like exact that he like takes care of them for the Yakuza. Just like right in the middle is like, oh, there was something going on here. I'm so sorry. I needed to do this for myself, for my own sense of revenge.
For me. Yes. Okay. Interesting.
Oh man, it's very funny in retrospect.
I can't wait to get to the point where like I know who Shaw is.
Yes.
Because technically I don't know.
You don't. Like, you like do, but you don't.
Yeah. Like I know it's Jason Statham, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's Shaw, and Dwayne The Rock Johnson is Hobbs.
Yeah.
And I know who they are, but like, yeah.
I mean, I think all of America knows, right? With Hobbs and Shaw. That's another movie that I feel like they like were like, this is a spin-off and anyone can watch it, even though actually I haven't seen it because I hate Shaw until they announced that Han's not dead. So I like
you're like
didn't
fine.
Watch.
He's okay now. You're back in.
Yeah, you can come back into the fam. It's okay.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
Oh, and this isn't like really related to anything, but the relationship between Sean and his dad I find very interesting because like I don't know, it feels very like not super important
to
the movie.
Yeah.
And because usually these father-son types of things are like important, significant, like they come back and wow, that sounded so dumb. Anyway, my point is...
No, you're right, though.
My point is that his dad doesn't want him to race, and he's got, like, these rules for him, and Sean's like, I'm gonna flout all the rules, we're not doing this. And then, like, he starts staying out late racing and stuff, and, like, we never see his dad yell at him for it. Nope, and that's just weird. Because in, like, any other movie, there would have been a scene of the dad going like ballistic or something, and like we just skipped that. I'm assuming it still happened because he ends up moving out and moving into like Han's place or whatever.
Yeah,
I think just really weird that we never saw it because I'm not used to that. I'm not used to that not being a scene.
Yeah, it's because like the movie. It's like it almost wants to be like a YA movie, you know what I mean? Like by having Sean be a high schooler, which is different, to decidedly so, from the first two movies.
Yeah.
But then it has him again. He doesn't really learn from anything that he does in this movie. He like learns how to drift and wins a race to like quote unquote avenge Han's death. But like that's all that he does. Like in any other movie with this setup, he would have learned something at the end or had that discussion with his father where they both agree like, okay, well, I'm not going to change my ways, but there's some mutual respect now. You know what I mean? But it just doesn't happen. And I don't get that either.
It's just super bizarre.
I learned responsibility through racing, father.
I mean, maybe he did. Who's to say?
But did we see that? I don't know.
No.
I don't know that we did. Oh, can I briefly just speak about who I've just called now the girl?
Yes.
I'm also gonna call her Neela because I think that's close enough to her name. She has so little speaking lines that I literally didn't realize that she has like a Australian Japanese accent until like halfway through the movie. I was like, what?
Yeah, that's not super great.
No, I thought she just had like a American accent. And then suddenly she had this like little lilt to it and I was like, wait.
Hold on.
Yeah, and that just means that she literally didn't say enough throughout the movie for me to
notice
her very noticeable accent. Like after she actually got a couple speaking lines, I was like, oh, sorry, Neela. You are yet again a victim of these first 3 films, I would say. Their treatment of women.
Can we get a woman written, directed Fast and Furious movie? This is what we deserve.
That would be really great. I would love to see one similar to how, like Hobbs and Shaw get their little spinoff. If we could get a Michelle Rodriguez like spinoff with Mia, like those 2 going out, that would be cool.
That would be awesome.
That'd be badass.
They could bring back Suki.
Yes, just like a girl-led, or a woman-led Fast and Furious racing team. Bring back Neela. She's technically a racer too. Bring her back. Say, that's true. I don't hang out with Sean or any of those boys anymore. And it's just her. Sean is, by the way, speaking of Sean again, he and I think Bow Wow as Twinkie have cameos or roles in F9.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Bow Wow like said that he has, but he's not in the trailer, and Sean can be seen for a blink in the trailer if you're interested in checking it out again. Kind of like bobs in. You have to like pause. It's like you would have thought that they'd like linger on him, but maybe people don't like care enough about Tokyo Drift anymore. Even though, so the other day, as in yesterday, I was looking up how to drift.
No.
Not because I'm going to do it, because I think it's technically illegal because it creates like skid marks regardless, and that's defacement of public property. But if someone out there knows the physics behind this, you have to be going a certain speed, and then you have to yank your wheel like the opposite way that you want to turn, and you turn apparently. And I feel like I'm missing some key knowledge to how that works, because I get it, but then I don't know.
It's probably like vibes or something.
Yeah. Not gonna get
thoughts and prayers,
Yeah. I will manifest my turn.
I think that's what it is. Again, let me pitch like I watched Cars. I'm pretty sure that's what happens.
Lightning McQueen willed it, so
he did. He didn't want it hard enough at first, which is why it took him so long.
And then it worked. Once he loved the Radiator Springs. Anyways, all this is to say that I was watching YouTube videos of street racers drifting. And in the comments, almost all the comments were about Tokyo Drift. So, like...
Interesting.
It's still, like culturally, people think, oh, Tokyo Drift. You know what I mean?
And I mean, I didn't realize that that's where it originated.
Yeah.
That the actual like technique basically
or Tokyo, I guess,
came from Japan. I had no idea. Like that's so cool.
Doc Hudson know about it?
I don't know. Who's to say?
Suspicious.
You're right. We don't know.
He toured in Japan.
Maybe he did.
Out of Japan.
What's the lore?
Give it to us, John Lasseter. I don't know. I don't think I actually have anything else. I think we got through all
I feel
my.
like I didn't say like anything substantial. My one thing, and I will say this because I think it's funny, when they say I didn't know Han was into American Muscle at the end. I'm like, honey, how could he not be? Have you seen those arms?
Have you seen those arms?
Have you seen Dom Toretto's
As
arms?
he's like revving his engine, his like
Jeez.
flexing.
God.
They're right there. Now that would be a ship. Dom, Han, and Paul Walker.
It would have to be
OTP.
because I won't let you cut Paul Walker out of the picture there.
I don't think you can, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it has to be all three of them.
And also, I could do parallels between this movie and Star Wars, like faster than Dom's car can.
Give me one.
It's farm boy, like southern like boy who
Ooh.
like drives cars,
Oh
and
my God. Wait, you're right.
Luke used to bullseye Womp Rats in his T16 back home. Like
Han is Obi-Wan.
yeah.
Oh
And
my
not
God.
Han, which is very confusing.
Yes.
Oh no, but he's actually stealing from gangsters,
Both.
so that does make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Oh my gosh.
I can't say Southern farm boy because like just because Sean's from Alabama doesn't mean he's originally from a farm.
He might be. We don't know this, right?
But he was originally in, like this
Farmland, possibly.
this desertish, area because
Yes.
I think the movie starts in Arizona and then he ends up traveling to, this
Other.
new world.
Yeah.
Cars, speeders, obviously.
Yeah. He rescues Neela from the Yakuza.
Yeah.
This is interesting. Could it be that Cars 2006 and Tokyo Drift 2006 were inspired by Star Wars: A New Hope? We're really getting into groundbreaking stuff this week. Oh man.
If you're still listening, congratulations on making it this far. I'm not sure how I did it, and I'm not sure how you did it.
It was a fun experience, you all have to admit, right? I think that is it though. Thank you guys, as always, for listening. Next month, oh my God, what is the title of Fast 4? Hold on. It's not just Fast 4, but I'm going to type that in.
It's Fast and Furious.
Oh,
because the
so
first
dumb.
one is The Fast and the Furious.
I love that meme. I think I've mentioned this before. The meme where you like change the different like.
Yes.
Yeah.
We were supposed to come up with what our names would
shoot.
be with that meme, and then we didn't.
You're right.
We'll do that for next time.
Yes. So next week we're doing F4, which now that I'm saying that, that's a Korean drama thing. I'll explain that to you later.
Okay.
It's called Fast and Furious, 2009. I believe again by Justin Lin. Yes. Okay. So this is when it starts to get, in my opinion, very, very good. So I'm very excited to continue our talk about this.
I'm excited then.
Yeah, it'll be good.
I'm
As
waiting
always,
for heists, Kate.
oh my gosh, soon.
Okay.
Kind of. Trust me, it gets wild and wilder. Like there's a reason why people are like, I need them to go to space next, because that's how crazy things get.
Oh, maybe if they go to space, we can have some Riddick references in it.
Yes.
Oh, this is the movie that he appeared in exchange for the rights to Riddick.
You're
like,
right.
He didn't want to do it, and then he was like, "Okay, I'll do it, but only if you let me have my boy Riddick."
Yay, Tokyo Drift.
Yay, Tokyo Drift.
I get our biggest hell yeah, man.
Sorry, I totally distracted you from the closing.
No, that's
Go
okay.
ahead.
That was an important comment because I forgot about that. You're right. Talk to us about that on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook because we love to hear what you guys think. But yeah, thank you guys for listening.
And until next time, AvengeGirls out.